Hello everybody. I'm just going to wait a little bit before everybody clicks in here. It's almost 7:30. This is the beginning of the Nativity set. Hello everybody. I see more people are joining us. So let's just wait here a little bit and we'll get started here. We're going to be doing Joseph today, and it's a little smaller than the usual, but hello Jack and Jenny and Sandy. Let's give it a couple of seconds yet, about 30-40 seconds. Hello Warren. It's amazing where everybody's from. Canada, all over the place here. So we're going to start the Nativity set. We're going to do the basic set first, where it's Joseph, Mary and Jesus, and the star. Okay? So, wait a little bit yet. No, it's 7:30 yet or not? No, yeah, it is. Alright, I'm going to start carving. I'm drinking some hot chocolate right now. Alright, this one's a little smaller than the 2.25. So it's 2.25 by 1.25 by 1.25 square. And I taper it off about 1/8 of an inch from the top. Alright, and those of you that have ordered some carving blocks, I just got the box in today. I'll tell you more about it later. Hello Rhonda. Let's start here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the corner that you want to work from. Here I did a little sample, so I know how to do it in this size. And what we're going to do is, hi James, we're going to do the top part of the hat first. That's the first thing I always start, whether it's the Santa's, no matter what I work on, it's always the hat first. So what I'm going to do is go down 5/8 of an inch and make a line. Then I make another line about 5/8 of an inch from the bottom up and make it a little bit at a diagonal, such as this. And the same thing over here. And then I connect the two sides together. Just kind of make a little bit of a curvature. That's the back side. Alright? This is the back side. The front side, we want to have room for that nose and the cheek and all that. So we're going to bring this out around like this. Just like so. And we're going to do the same thing over here. Hello, folks from Canada. My favorite people. Alright. Well, that doesn't look quite even, so let me do it back here for a second, and I'll come right back. Sometimes it's easier to do it. Alright. So, the first thing you're going to do is take whatever knife is the sharpest, and you're going to cut the very top. You're going to just notch it out with a small stop cut. Like so. Then you're going to go to the side and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to push down. Now I have thumb guards on. I recommend for you to wear a carving glove and a thumb guard. Highly recommended, especially if you're new to carving. Everybody has a different preference in how they want to wear the glove or not, but if you take a class from me at my shop, you will wear a glove. It's a requirement. I don't like picking up fingers off the floor or and I don't handle blood too well. Well, some blood, but not a lot. Anyway, we'll push this down here, and we're going to notch it up this way as well. Now, the reason I have it on both thumbs is because I can push on the blade a little harder, and And that works out pretty good. I like the, all right, I like the little puppy waving there. All right, so I've got to pay attention on my carving. All right, so now I'll do each corner after I make those marks. And then what I do a lot of times, I don't know how many of you have the V4, I mean the parting tool or the dockyards. You can do one of two ways. You can either do it with a knife, such as so, I'll show you. If you don't have a V-tool, you can take a knife and file your line down. And then just cut it out with your, very carefully that you don't push it up into the hat. And if it doesn't come free, never pull it. Always go back and recut it. Alright, there you go. You can do it that way, or you can use the V-tool. You can take the V-tool and just file this. It's much easier with a V-tool if you know how to handle it. You notice I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way. Okay, so that's kind of what it looks like, but a lot of times when you use a V-tool, it helps clean it up a little bit more. So I'm going to do the back side as well, but you can do it either way. It's fine. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Tony. This will be on YouTube tonight sometime, and then I'll get rid of this one on Facebook and replace it with the exact same. Okay, my light just went down. Hang on just a second here. All right, let me do it that way. Okay, hang on just a second here. All right, so when you're live, you can't fake this stuff. Okay, so once we have that done, that looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now, we're going to round the hat off. I always work on the hat first. So we're going to take my little sharp little knife here, and I'm just going to start scooping out a little bit from the front. Now you don't want to knock this portion off yet, because you're going to make this a little deeper on the bottom. This is where your nose is going to go, so you don't want to dig it down too deep this way. You want to make sure you do it deep on the top of the nose. Because I like to have it, fat noses on my pieces. I think it gives it the cute factor. Alright, so let me just get a drink here for a second. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one of these. We're going to scoop out both sides here. And both sides here. And both sides here. Now, I have this going a little bit of a slant on the back. So what you want to do is just start cutting it across here. I did soak my piece a little bit with some water and rubbing alcohol. I know rubbing alcohol is very hard to come by right now, but I found a bunch of it at a store some time ago, and I use it for numerous things around here, not only for my carving but for some of my other jobs. So I always had a bunch of it on hand because I never like to run out of it. But you know, water will work too, but I find that rubbing alcohol works really well. So once you cut this off at a angle, you want to round it off a little bit. All the hard edge, you want to take that off. All right, so now I'm going to kind of round it off a little bit more. And I got the first cut, and I'm just going to do the second cut here. I'm just going to go all the way around and kind of round that head off a little bit. We'll worry about the robe portion. I don't know what they call that, but anyway. All right. So now you want to scoop this out a little more here, and in the back you definitely want to scoop that out. One thing you want to remember when you do these carvings, you don't want to have any rough spots anywhere. You want to make sure you take them off. And I'm going to just take a little bit of that point off right there, and I'm going to scoop this out a little bit more. A little bit more. All right. Now, once we get that done, we're going to keep rounding off the head a little bit. Once you have this, like I often say, if you do one, hang of how to do the one. If you want to do more, I would suggest you do the same one repeatedly, maybe 2 or 3 times, or at least 3 times. That way you'll have 3 sets done, and it's actually easier the more you do it. It's like anything else. You get faster at it. So if you're doing it for friends or family or your own set, and you want to make a couple extra sets, that's a good way of doing it. So I'm taking off all the extra rough stuff right now. I'm going to just go down here and just take a little bit more out at those corners. I can't answer any questions right now, folks. At the end, if you have a couple of questions, feel free to ask at the end. I will have a couple of minutes at the end to answer some questions, but wait till the end or do it on a message on Facebook if you have a question. All right, so that's how the hat is done. All right, so now we've got to put this rope on. That really makes it stick out pretty good, and it's going to be a little harder for me to do because this thing is smaller and I can't see that well that far away. So let me switch my glasses out. Oh, that's a little better. All right, so the first, you're going to put one line all the way down around like this. Okay, just like so. You might want to go down a little further. You can always adjust it. All right, and then another one on the top about 1/8 of an inch. Let me do it back here. I can see better. I'll be right back. I do this a lot in my videos because I can't see it. The camera's right in front of my face, so it's really hard to... All right, there we go. Hi, Linda. Anyway, so that's how I have that. Now, if it doesn't look right, you can always adjust it a little bit. Like this should come down just a tad. But once I make the line, I usually use my nifty little 4.5 parting tool. I still have some of these available. I don't remember how much they are. I think they're 14 or 20. I don't remember. I have to look back online. It's been a while since I ordered a bunch. Just ordered some right after Christmas. But they are handy little things. They really are. You want to try to make that groove exactly the same size all the way around. Alright, you want to do the first line, whichever line you want to do, the top or the bottom. That really is up to you. But then when you do your second line, you want to try to kind of follow your first line. You're going to follow your line that you made, but you're going to really follow where you went with that other one first. So you're going to try to keep that the same width. Notice I have my thumb on the piece. I'm using my hand. I'm not using my arm to push. I'm using my fingers to push on this. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to use your hand, because you notice I have really good control over it because of that, because I have it anchored on the piece. And if you're not familiar how to use a V-tool, it takes a little bit of time to get used to the feel of it and how it works and all. Okay, so once I'm done with that, what I often do is I put another little line with I score it all the way around again. Okay, and then I kind of bring it up underneath, from the bottom up, because I want that thing to stick out, that rope to stick out a little bit. If there's a proper name of that thing, let me know. I have no idea what it is. Looks like rope to me, but so, anyway. And then I go all the way around, and I just kind of, the other thing the scoring does when you do that, when you go to paint it, it doesn't run into one space to another, and I'll explain that later on when we start painting these. I'm not going to paint these online. I will give you pictures of it completely done, and then you can figure out the coloring that you want to do on it. It might be different, okay? So that's pretty well where we're at right now. Let me take this out a little more. All right, perfect. That looks good. Now I'm going to get rid of some of this rough stuff down here yet. And I'm going to just take the corners in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to score the top as well. I see that, Jim. Hula hoop. Yes, that's funny. That will work. And then I cut it. It's kind of pulling around the head there. Just like so. All right, and then I go back and I kind of round off this little edge here on the rope. Whoops, really gouged that one out. Let's fix that a little bit. You go around and you gouge these things out a little bit and just round it up a little bit. All right, so let's go to the face will be next. So we're pretty well done with this. You can make this a little bit more deeper if you want. We are going to put a fold in it at the end. So, all right, so let's see. Hi, Jim. Hi, Beth. Hang on just a second. No, I'm not drinking alcoholic beverages. It's a hot chocolate. Anyway, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to put the nose in. So let me measure how big this nose is, because I know a lot of people want measurements, and normally I don't do that. I just do it by eyeball, but I understand that most people can't do that. So this is about a half an inch down, somewhere around here, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me bring it up where the light is. I'm going to make a half a circle. I'm going to put where my line is at the bottom, and I'm going to take a half a circle going around. Next week we will do Mary, and Mary will be very similar, okay? Just a little different, but very similar. Her robe and stuff is a little bit different, but you know, you can make it any way you want. It's up to you. Okay, so that's a nice big nose, maybe a little bit too big, but like I said, I'd rather have it big noses than little noses, because if you have skinny noses, your piece doesn't have the cute factor to it, is what I call it. So you're going to cut at the bottom of the nose. You're going to come right up. Now you're going to do that pretty steep. You're not going to do it from down here. You're just going to do a little bit right underneath the nose. Okay, now here's the tricky part. See this edge here? This is how your knife should go into the nose when you cut this portion out. You want to keep it flat. You do not want to do it this way, because if you do, you're going to stick the knife into the nose and it's going to make it weird looking. It's the only way. You're going to lose part of the nose, okay? So you want to make sure as you're looking at it straight on, that's how your blade should go when you cut. So let me give you an example here. Now I know this camera's not the best because I'm doing it on my phone, It is a little blurry from time to time because I'm moving around. I haven't figured out a better way of doing it yet with the camera, but notice I put it in right, like I'm going right next to the nose. I'm slicing right next to the nose, and I just follow that like that, and then I take this and I just go ahead and take the point of the knife and I just scoop it out. That's the first one. Let's do the second one. Again, you're going to go straight on. You're not going to go this way. You're going to go this way. Straight in, okay? Now, the most important portion here is up here where it won't have any eyes. So what we want to do is go up here, right where the nose and the eye kind of meet, or where it's covering the eye. And you want to do a little triangular cut there, just like so, to make it a little bit deeper. Sometimes when you make things just a tiny bit deeper and give it some depth, it really makes things pop out really nice. Okay, see how the difference? When you just do that one little cut can make a big difference. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to just trim this rough stuff. And you can do that after as well. You don't have to do it right now, but it just bothers me that it's there. Okay, so I'm going to just cut a little bit more out here, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to follow this up a little bit on either side of the hat. And I'm going to cut those out just a tiny bit. Hello, Donna. Say hi to your mom or your mother-in-law for me, really. All right. The next thing we're going to do, okay, so this is how far we've gotten already. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the cheek next. So you kind of go from under here, and you make a little U, just like so. All right. I have no idea how long this is going to take us. It might take us an hour to do this. Not sure. Hang on just a second. All right. So what I do is I have another little V tool, which is the Dockyard 3mm. This is the little one that we have. I don't know if this one's super sharp yet because I've used it a few times. Let's see if I can find my other one here. Hang on just a second. Okay, I know I had it here. Here we go. Very good. Let me check something here, folks. I'm not sure if this blade is ready or not for what I want it to do. Nope. Let's go to another one. Let's see if this one works. That's better, but it's not perfect. So what I use is a V3, and I'll just do a little cut that way. It's a Dockyard that I use. And there's your cheek. All right. This is not super sharp either. I need to resharpen some of these that I've been using. All right. So so far that's where we're at. Now, get your pencil again, and we're not going to do anything right now with that or the nose. We're going to figure out how far how far down we're going to go. So let's take a look at this. And usually when you have one, you kind of match them up and you can make the same cut. And I would say that's about from the bottom where the hands are. Let me take a look at this. It's 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. All right. So what we're going to do because his arms have to come out and his funny looking feet. Okay, we're doing this portion right here and his beard. We're going to take this, go partly down here. Okay, and you're going to just kind of, just like so. And then you're going to come up the other way about the, if you're ever going to measure the same side, you can use your finger and your pencil. You don't always need a ruler. Some people are really comfortable with a ruler. You don't always need a ruler. So what you do is just hit it with this and measure, and then you can kind of measure where it goes over here. Perfect, right there. Okay. So I'm going to take this over. Okay. And then I'm going to continue with the arm, because the arm is going to come back from over here a little bit, and it's going to come around the corner, and it's there. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. This needs to come down just a tad more. The hardest part with carving, I find, is getting both sides to look similar or somewhat even. You know, it's hard to get two eyes to look the same, or two cheeks to look the same, or two ears to look the same. It's very, very different sometimes. So this is where this one goes in the back. So you want to go kind of around the corner. And then you're going to put a little line from here down, because we're going to put its feet right here. Okay. And the same thing on the back side. All right. Now, his mustache. Let's just do this first. What I'm going to do is a little cut. Again, I'm going to use my V 4.5 parting tool. And I'm just going to take this all the way up. And you want to be careful. You don't want to, if you push it too hard, you're going to nick something else. So just be very careful when you do it. Okay? And you're going to go on this side as well. All right, perfect. And then you're going to do also your other part, right there, the back part of the arm. And then come down and around. Okay. Same thing over here. You're just going to come down a little bit. You got to go right around the corner underneath the hat. Now, if it doesn't free up, always go back with your knife and chop it out. All right? That's what you want to do. Now, you notice the arms are a little different, so I'm going to try to make them more even. But, you know, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. Everyone's going to be a little different than the one before, and that's okay. That's just the way carving is. It's different. It's not all going to be the same. It's not like putting it in a machine and having them pop out. Okay, and then also I'm going to do the back part of the foot. I know it's an odd kind of foot, but this is what I came up with. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw where his little mustache is. See this little mustache right here? It's very, very tiny. It's even more tiny on this little thing. So, I don't know if you can see it there. There it is. So, that's what we want to do, is to make a little, where the mouth is going to be and the lips, and where the mustache is going to be. So, I go down a little ways here. I just mark it. You want to do it like an upside down V. Okay, I'm going to just round that off a little bit. Just makes it a little easier all around. Okay, just again, you want to get rid of all this, all the rough stuff everywhere. I don't know what's sticking in his nose there. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to round off his nose a little bit as well. Okay. Start shaping that up. Hello, Terry. from Ohio. All right. Now, when I make the mouth, it's with a little... And then we're going to just kind of bring this down and around. Just like so. Again, it's very hard to match up one side versus the other. And you can kind of eyeball it. So what I do is I take my knife, and right where the top of the mustache is and the mouth, I make a little, I stick it in pretty far, as you can see. And I'll do the other side as well. There you go. There's the mouth. All right? It's that simple. And then what you want to do is you want to take your V-tool and you're going to do the mustache. So just take your time with it. I'm trying to hurry because I'm trying to get this done with a reasonable amount of time, but if it takes an hour and a half, it takes an hour and a half. I don't think it will take us that long. We've only been at it for a half hour. Okay. So I'm going to score it a little bit, and I'm going to undercut it a little bit further. Same thing with this side here. Now, some of you have asked about the creche, or the manger. That's right there. I will be building a few of these. I have an order for a couple of them already from some of you that ordered. I'm sorry that most of you did not get your order on time. Let me show you something. I was cutting them up today, so I just got the box in at 3 o'clock. That's about half of the order that I need to finish. And there'll be 12 of those in a packet along with the star. Let me see if I can find the star. Jesus, and I know there's a star in here somewhere. Oh, it's in there somewhere. The little 1-inch star is in there as well, block. But that is what, that's what I've been working on. So I'll probably get a couple of orders out. Of the 10 that I have, I'll probably get 3 out today for tomorrow morning, and then I'll get another bunch out the next day or 2 days. So you will be getting them. I have enough to do, I have enough lumber here to do an extra 20 sets. So if anybody's interested in a set, let me know. All right. All right. So, all right, back to this. Now, I'm going back to the cheek here. What I do is I score it, or I cut a little piece, and I'm going to make that a little deeper. Nice thing about the V-cut, you can always go back and recut it. It does a nice job, so you don't have to figure out exactly where to go with the line. It just makes it much neater. But and the same thing here. You want to make a little triangular cut where the bottom of the nose is and the cheek, just right there in that corner. I always said a little bit of depth makes a world of difference when you make it a little deeper. It gives it a different look sometimes. So. Well, I think we're all getting a little stir-crazy being home. I have handled it pretty well, I think, because as a farmer, I've always been home. So, but not this much, I have to say, not this much. But I do miss seeing my family and, you know, my folks in Canada, of course, that were supposed to come. You know, I think a lot of people's lives have been interrupted and, you know, a lot of things going on right now, but it can keep us busy, which is really, really nice. I think in Pennsylvania, we're here for until the 15th of May, I think, and we're all supposed to wear these masks around now. That's a order from our state. So, okay, the sets, Christine, they're $21.70 for a set, and if you buy two, you don't have to pay the shipping twice. It's $35. Okay, and I have a link. I'll put a link on with where you can order it after I'm done. Okay, Barbara, I will see who is asking for sets when I look back over the comments a little bit later. All right. All right, so I'm going to score this again here and go a little deeper. Now I'm going to scoop this out a little bit because actually the beard is supposed to stick out a little further than the mustache. I mean, it's supposed to be undercut there, so the mustache sticks out a little further, okay? And I'm going just to round that off a little bit. Again, I'm going to take all those little rough stuff off, otherwise it's going to look really weird. The reason I do that is when you paint it, you're going to find out, and you're going to find out that if you don't, you're going to end up painting it, and the rough spot is going to look darker. It's going to soak up the paint a lot faster than if it's not rough. And that's why I clean everything up with a knife. I don't sand anything. Nothing is sanded. I do everything with a knife and clean with a knife. It's important to have a good sharp knife as much as you can. Okay, I'm going to make this mouth a little deeper. It's not to my liking yet. There we go. Now this little thing here, you can take your knife and just put a little stop cut and cut underneath slowly. You don't want to pry it out. And there's your lip. Okay? It's well, right now the knife that I'm using a Rough Rider knife that I have revamped. I have several of those, and then I often use a Murphy knife as well. I find these are wonderful. If you don't have one of these, they're great to have. The guy that used to supply these for me, he's no longer doing it, so I'm trying to find another avenue folks to buy these. You can see how nice and sharp they are. He's finding that the quality of the last load he got in, last shipment he got in, was not good. So here we're going to make it deeper underneath the beard. And really we're done with the mustache. Now I know there's a little flat spot there. Let's kind of round that off a little bit. There you go. Yes, I can do that. I can list the different knives and stuff that we're doing. I know many of you folks are not able to go to any of your carving clubs or carving shows. We missed ours in Lancaster. That's usually a good show for me, and I'm sorry that we missed it, but they did cancel it. That was back in March 27th, I believe, when all this was going on. And Lord knows how long this is going to last or not last. But we'll be hopeful that things will get some my normal back by summer. You know, we just have to be patient. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rescore the bottom. Now right here, I'm going to cut that off so it's sticking. This sticks out a little bit more. Okay? And I'm going to round the hands off a little bit, just like so. I'm going to cut that bottom part off a little bit. All right. All right, I'm just looking at it, folks. Usually when I do a video, I'm not answering questions. I try to do it in segments. Again, I'm going to take all this rough stuff off of the Now here comes the fun part. Putting in the beard. Do that in a little bit here. I'm as you notice, I'm cleaning things up and going back and recutting a little bit, getting all the fuzzies off of it and stuff. No, Christine, if you order a set, you have to watch the videos to do them. There is no instructions. It just comes with the wood that you need to do the set. The set is two and a quarter inches tall by 1.25 by 1.25, and it will be on YouTube as soon as we're done here. I will probably eliminate all the comments here. I'll go through the comments while it's loading to YouTube, and then I will put YouTube back on Facebook. A link to it that you'll find it there. Okay, that's how I plan to do it, and that's how I did the last couple of videos I've already done. All right. I'm hoping to do some, what I plan to do with these, just real quick, each piece that I get done, and I'm going to do a casting of it. And I had some people already ordered a whole set of the casting as study pieces or painted and done as a set you can give away or keep for yourself. I plan to do the casting and moldings of these. Hopefully I'll make 10 sets of the complete set when we're done in 12 weeks. And I can make more if I need to, but it takes time to do molding. It's not super quick to do it. There's a bit of a learning curve with it and all, but I plan to make, once I paint this up and get it done, I'm going to definitely do castings of this. And I have castings of my birds already and some other things. As you know, if you wanted to make 20 sets of these, the first 3 probably are fun. Of its complete work. So that's why I am going more for the castings. It will be much cheaper. Instead of a $300 set, it might be $90 to $110 for a complete 12-piece set, including the creche. So the creche, can't do the castings on them. So anyway, let's start with the... Now I have a very small one here that it was a 4. I mean, it was a 3 mm parting tool, but I ended up grinding it down, and it's kind of tiny, but it works for what I need it to. So what I'm going to do is I've been spraying my pieces with rubbing alcohol and water. I said that on the onset, and so I'm just spraying the whole thing a little bit to give me a little bit of a little bit softer so I can do this beard. It just helps you to do it a little better. So what I usually do is I usually do the outside first and then do the center. And that way I know the way the beard should go. If you look at this, it goes from here and it curves up. Okay, that's what we want to do here. So what I'm going to do is take my little V tool and just go underneath. Now, if for some reason it doesn't free up, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and take your knife and cut it right underneath the nose, okay? You don't want to pry it out. You don't want to pull it out because you might be pulling something out you don't want to. So you want to be very careful. So this is usually how I do it. I kind of follow, okay? And then I kind of follow it out a little bit. See how I'm going out this way. All right. Same thing over here. I'm going to follow it out. Okay, so that's the top part. Okay, if you can see that. Then I go to the bottom part and I do the same thing. I start here and I work my way towards the outside. Okay, now that one didn't free up. See that little piece there? I'm going to take this and I'm going to just hopefully... Oh, it did come out. Okay, good. But there's a little bit of a snap poo there. Let's see. There we go. It's nice and clean. The sharper you have the tools, the better. Okay, the sharper you have these, the better. And then I do the same thing with the outside of the other side. I'll be doing this every Tuesday at 7:30 until we have a complete set done. Now it might be 12 weeks, it might be... Now I'm doing the center. You see how I'm kind of meshing it together? Perfect. See? That's how it's supposed to be. And the same thing over here. Okay, so that's the dash. Hang on just a second. All right. The same thing you want to do for the beard. I do the outside and I have it going in this direction. See how I have the direction? Okay. That's how I'm going to do the direction of this. So I do the bottom part first. Underneath the lip, it's kind of very touchy because you don't want to nick that lip out. So what you want to do is just go very... If it doesn't free up, like that one did not free up, you just want to go back with the point of your knife and get it out. Once you do a couple of these, you'll get the hang of it. It's not that difficult. It's just a little time consuming. Yes, Christine, I have several videos on sharpening. I have my own sharpening method. I have my own sharpening wheels that I put together for people. They can get the machine from Harbor Freight. Just send me a link and I will, or send me a message and I'll send you a link to everything. Everything can be found on my online store, which if you just go to Google and put Carver's Wood Shop, one word, online store, it should pop up. It's a square. That's been really good because then you can use a credit card. I don't have to fuss with getting people's credit cards. It's safe. You know, I have a third party that does it for me. And then I get an email that I got a sale, and then I put it in the mail. And a lot of my stuff is being shipped right from the house here. I'm not going to the post office these days. I'm just staying away from all that kind of stuff. I've been trying to figure out how to do first-class mail here, and I think I have it figured out. So, but otherwise it will go flat rate. And most of those prices that you have, there are with the shipping included. So, I have to make more sharpening wheels. I sold the last one the other day, so I've got to make a couple more. So there you go. There's the beard. All right. It's just a tiny bit smaller. It's not by much, but yeah. So. All right, now we're going to do the hands real quick. So what you want to do is you want to take, yes, I take personal checks. If you make it out to Arlene Zomer, not the Carver's Wood Shop, but Arlene Zomer, ARLEENZOMER, and send it to Burdell Road, which is 927 Burdell Road. That's at the farm here. It's BIRDELL Road, Honeybrook, Pennsylvania, 19344. So I'm going to Just do 2 sides, like so. And then I take the V-tool again, and all these videos, I know it might be a little bit annoying because I'm talking to people, but this will all be on YouTube, and it will be on DVD later on. So you can either watch it online, or you can watch it on YouTube, or you can order it. And that will be a little while before I get that done. Right here at the corners, I kind of just flatten this out a little bit. So there's the hands. Now, we've got to have them folding like this, right? So what we're going to do is take, and we're going to do a little curvature. So it looks like one hand's folded on top of the other. Just like so. You're welcome, Christine. I enjoy doing these. I really do. I just haven't had a lot of time the last year or so to do anything. Now I have some time. Yeah, this year certainly didn't come out as we all planned it to be, going away or our trips and stuff. Okay, so I cut behind there, so you see it's folding. So we need to just put a couple of fingers in there. So what we're going to do is turn it upside down here, and we're just going to, let me do it with the other tool. You can do it from the other way too. It doesn't really matter how you do it. 1, 2, and well, 2's enough. You can put 3 on if you want. Okay, so that's how you put the little things on. I put little folds into the okay. Now we're gonna do the feet a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna round this off a little bit, round it down a little bit, just like so. And I know the feet look kind of odd, but this is what I came up with. I wanted them to wear kind of sandals and stuff. And thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm self-taught. Yes, I am. And I started with a book and an X-Acto knife and balsa wood. All the wrong things, except for the book. And one of these days I'll share that with you and some of my old stuff. I still have it in the living room here. Hi, April. Your set is on the way. Alright, so once you get that all rounded up a little bit on either side, what you want to do is take your pencil again, and you're going to go back up. And you're just going to, I usually use my finger as a guide, okay? And I'm just going to put a line all the way across the bottom. That's the sole of the sandal. And then you're going to do one here and one there. Okay. One here and one there. And this is the back side right here. Okay. And I'm going to take my little V tool, my little one. Where's the little one? Okay. And I'm going to just do a little V cut right there. You can use a, it's actually the same, it's the same V depth, width is what I'm talking about. You can use either the big one or the small one. The small one you just can get in a little further, closer to the edge, because then this is not in the way. All right. And then I go and do the other side. To the back. And then I do the top. Okay. Let me get both sides done here. Let me see here. round this off a little bit. Get rid of those little rough edges, especially where the foot's supposed to be. Let me see if I can get that a little bit. There we go. Okay. And you know, like I said before, when you do two pieces of the same thing, it's a lot more difficult to make them match. Even on our own bodies, if there's two of something, it doesn't match exactly. One's going to be a little different than the other. Okay. Let me do the back side here a little bit more. Round the hat off a little bit more. Okay. All right. So how you get those little toes in there, it's pretty simple. You just take a little V tool again, and I put one little V in the middle, one there, and one there. And there's your toes, okay? I did a few of these, Linda, that's why it looks easy. It would be if you did a bunch of them. I did about, I don't know how many sets last year of this size. And I think I have 11 pieces or more to do, to add to the ones I did before. And so I'm kind of committed to doing that. I'm just putting the toes in. And of course that didn't free up, so I have to take my knife and just kind of pop them out. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is round off the sleeves a little bit. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is, I like putting little folds in his, on his sleeve, and a fold in the back, and a couple folds in the back section. And then we're pretty well finished with it. Oh, also, the rope portion here, the way you do it is you just round it off a little bit, all the way around. Let's do this first. Then I take the 4.5 V tool, or the Dockyard, either one is fine. Whichever is the sharpest is the one I like to use. So what I do is I just take it and I just start, I don't do one in the middle, I kind of offset it. One there, and just take it at the same angle everywhere. Kind of do them the same width apart. Hopefully it will be the same all the way around, but we'll see. You can join me next week when we do Mary, and then we'll do Jesus, and then we'll do the star, and then you'll at least have the basic set done. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Okay. It should be a little bit deeper, a little bit wider. There you go. All right. And now we're going to do the fold in the back. So what I do is I take the V tool, and I just take, I need to clean this up a little bit here. All right. And we're going to take this right across, a little bit of a curve. Okay. Then I take my knife and I score it again at the bottom. And then I take my knife and I undercut. And then I round this top portion off a little bit. It makes it look like a fold. Okay? That's how that's done. All right. Then the ones down here, I need to clean this up a little bit. I just put little notches in for the folds. We've been at this for about an hour. Not too bad. All right, so that's the folds in the back. And then the little folds, like I like using the knife. You can use a V-tool, but a knife can make these a little deeper and a little bit nicer. And I try to keep them really close. I try to do 3. Okay, one there, and I'll do one at the top. I just might, Christine. I wouldn't love to do that sometime. We'll see how things go. Maybe in the future. I know there's a lot of roundups, carving roundups all over the place. There's a few in New York. There's one upstate Pennsylvania, Cherry Ridge, I think it is. All right, folks, there is your Joseph. Okay, any other questions before I sign off? I hope you enjoyed this. I think it will be a fun one to do. Like I said, it's a little smaller than the original bigger ones. This ornament series, I sell 3 different ones. This is the mini series. Thank you, James. The mini series, the ornament series, and then I have the larger ones. So I hope this has been a pleasure to watch, and that you got something out of it. And then we'll start, I'll clean this up a bit more while I'm offline. I've got to be able to look. But this is the one we'll do next time. You can see the difference of the faces. The hands are basically the same, the feet. It's a little different with the headgear, but it's roughly about the same. And then when we do Jesus, that's just out of a flat piece. And, you know, we'll see what happens. And then we have the star, which is this little guy. Whoops. This little guy. So, those of you that are interested in a set, if you weren't here to look at what's been cut, there's a whole bunch of nativity sets in there. So I just started cutting them this afternoon. So, you know, if you want a set, I think I have 20 sets I have to get ready, and I have 20 more I can do out of the box I just got in today. And then I'll have to order more if there's more than that again. So just give me a few days to get it together, and I'll be more than happy. The difference with the mini versus the other, let me just share this with you. The mini it's 1/4 of an inch shorter on all the sides. So instead of being 2.5, it's 2 1/4. Instead of 1.5, it's 1 1/4. I wanted something smaller so I can start molding them, and it won't take a whole lot of material to mold these. And I think people like things smaller, and it wouldn't cost as much either. I don't know how they'll paint up once I have them casted, but I will get the casting done eventually. So I will try to keep you informed. I'm hoping to cast the first one this week, and I'll show that to you later, how that's going to work out and all that. So yes, the dimensions for the cutting out the blank is 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, and then you taper it roughly 1/8 of an inch on each side from about the middle, a little higher than the middle, up. That's how you have to taper it. And you can carve it off if you want, but I just feel that's a waste of time. I like starting it from this. Okay, Richard, remind me, and those of you that want the manger, I'm debating how much to charge for that. I do it out of pallet wood and some other wood that I have here. I have enough for the backing portion of it. I need to see if I have enough of the pallet wood. I like to use things that are already being used pallet wood's an interesting form. It's not always the easiest to work with, but you know, we'll see how that works out. I came up with this idea from another, when I bought the creches for the set, and then I couldn't get them anymore, so I had to make them. I'm assuming it'll be like $24 shipped. That's what I'm looking at. 15 and 8 something to ship it out. So that's roughly what I'm looking at, or 25, somewhere around there. So if you want one, that's what it's going to cost. If we can get, I don't think I can get 2 in one of those boxes, but it's something I'll have to figure out. Sure. Which one, Richard, did you want me to hold up so you can look at it better? No, Sandy, yours are sitting right in the box. You're the next one on the list. You and Kathy and I can't remember Gary. There's a few of you that are waiting for them, and we'll see if we can get them off. Which one, Richard, did you want to look at? The color of this one or this one? Oh, the color. Okay. Flesh color, brown, burnt sienna, a grayish blue, and the same thing for the hat, the top, and the sandals. I use the same color. Okay, hope that helps. And if you decide to paint it, you know, we'll see how it goes. My colors might change a little bit. I used to have them in a container, and they all kind of got dried out a little bit because I wasn't doing to do a bunch of them. The same thing with my the dimensions for the manger I don't have yet. April, I will put something together. If you want to make your own, you can. It's totally up to you. I get this stuff. Let's see if I can get this. I hate this automatic focus. It keeps being blurry. There's Joseph for you, Richard. There you go. Let's see if I can. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, I will see. The dimensions might be a little different because of the thickness of what the pallet wood is. This stuff you have to buy at some kind of a store. Why is that not focusing right? That drives me crazy. Okay, so this stuff here will have to be purchased, and it's kind of hard to get that. Sure. The sandals, there you go. That's what the sandals look like. Yes, if you go on Facebook, there is a, thank you, Sandy, there is a colored picture of the feet, the color. This is just a flesh color, all right, for the face and stuff. So, all right, we'll keep going next week, folks. I've been at it for a little over an hour and 10 minutes now. And if you have any other questions, you can post it on my page anywhere. Because all these will disappear, and I will put the YouTube one on. You can ask those questions again under the YouTube video, and that won't be until a little bit later tonight because I have to transfer it all, and that takes a while. Okay, folks, I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, and, you know, it's been fun. Let's try again next week, and we'll start with Mary. Bye-bye, folks.